Take a piece of toilet paper and place some cheese on it. You won't believe how much it saves. Cheese, especially hard cheese, often dries out quickly in the fridge. That's why, to store cheese properly in your kitchen, you need to follow a few steps. Let me explain them to you. The first step is to immediately remove the cheese from the plastic wrap it was sold in. Cheese needs to be stored in a completely different way. The best container for storing open cheese is a glass container with an airtight lid. These kinds of containers can be purchased in most home goods stores. However, you'll also need some parchment paper or even toilet paper. Wrap the piece of cheese in this paper and place it in the glass container. Then store the container in the fridge. Another method you can use instead is to wrap the cheese in baking paper. The idea is to replace the wax coating that protects the cheese from drying out. Cheese wrapped this way can also be stored in the fridge without a glass container. Try these two methods, and your cheese will stay fresh for much longer. Place a handful in the fridge, and you'll solve one problem for a long time. Just put it in a small container and place it in the fridge. This is a simple way to keep it working properly. For even better results, try this clever trick. Tear off 5 pieces of paper towel and fold them as shown in the video. Then, prepare a small bowl, add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of salt. Mix them together. The salt effectively absorbs moisture, which is the main cause of unpleasant odors. Next, add 1 tablespoon of water and mix until you get a smooth consistency. Spread the mixture onto the prepared paper towel. The mixture will dampen the paper. Place the towel in the fridge. The baking soda and salt together will effectively absorb all the moisture and odors. Replace the towel weekly. I've been using this method for years, and I never have unpleasant smells in my fridge. This method will save your butter in hot weather. It will have the perfect consistency. I have been storing butter wrong all my life. I myself made this mistake for many years. However, some time ago, my grandmother told me that the kind of butter maker she has in her house has a hidden function. And it turns out that she always stored butter this way in the summer. At the very beginning, prepare yourself water in the kettle. When this boils, pour it into a pot. Then, add 3 tablespoons of salt to the water and wait for it to cool down. Salt has great preservative properties, which is what I will use in this trick. In the meantime, sew your butter dish. If you don't have one like me, you can take a regular breakfast box. Now there is only one step left. Pour boiled water with salt over the butter. This method will limit the access of air and stop the growth of bacteria and the spoilage process. Thanks to my grandmother's method, you don't have to worry that the butter will stop tasting like it did before or will melt. The water we pour over our butter will not affect it. This trick is brilliant, and I use it all year round. And my butter is of perfect consistency. Place a roll of toilet paper in the fridge. You'll be surprised by what happens. I'm sure you'll thank me for this tip. First, prepare a baking soda paste. Take a small bowl and add 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Baking soda is great for removing tough stains and naturally absorbs unpleasant odors. Add a little water and mix until you get a paste-like consistency. Apply the paste to the top of the toilet paper roll, making sure to rub it in thoroughly. Repeat the process on the bottom of the roll. Turn the roll and apply the paste again, ensuring it's well absorbed. Once you've prepared the roll, place it in the fridge. This roll will absorb all the unpleasant odors, keeping your fridge smelling fresh all the time. Plus, it's a cost-effective and eco-friendly solution. Try it out and enjoy a consistently pleasant aroma every time you open your fridge. Don't store food in ice cream containers. You'll be shocked at what happens to them. You've probably thought you had ice cream in the fridge, only to find dill inside. Many people don't throw away ice cream tubs. Instead, they use them in their kitchens. This is a huge mistake. Ice cream container manufacturers didn't anticipate such uses for the containers. Putting leftovers, meat, salads, or soups in them can be dangerous. My mother-in-law used to do this, but when I told her about it, she immediately stopped. What's the issue? It turns out that some food products interact with the containers. Reusing packaging can allow harmful chemicals to leach into the food. The warm temperature of the dish can precipitate chemical components from it. Ice cream containers are not suitable for storing dairy and eggs. Plastic promotes the growth of dangerous microorganisms. Processed meat loses its taste and nutritional properties. Cheeses may begin to smell musty. Food in such containers molds much faster. Moreover, we should store food in transparent containers. Ice cream containers are colored with chemical paints. The quality and application of this plastic are not intended for refreezing. Put styrofoam in the freezer and enjoy lower electricity bills. Have you ever put styrofoam in the fridge? If not, you definitely should. Instead of throwing it away, put it in the freezer. You'll reduce your bills and save on expenses. Styrofoam doesn't absorb moisture and doesn't dissolve in water. It also doesn't conduct heat. It's lightweight and can be crushed and broken into smaller pieces. If you're focused on savings and every penny counts for you, styrofoam can help with that. Simply freeze it. To do this, fit the styrofoam into one of the freezer drawers. Divide it into smaller pieces. Arrange it in the drawer. Insert smaller pieces into the empty spaces. Put the drawer loaded with styrofoam into the freezer. If you have space in another drawer, do the same. Fill it with styrofoam and put it in the freezer. It turns out that this really works. Styrofoam reduces the empty space in the freezer. Every time you open the freezer door, warm air enters. When the freezer is full, less warm air enters. This means the fridge uses less electricity. The same goes for the cooling part of the fridge. If you have a large fridge and few items in it, you can line the empty shelves with styrofoam. By eliminating the empty space in the fridge and freezer, you'll save more energy. Before you call for service, grab a hairdryer. Inside the fridge, there is a constant low temperature that allows safe food storage. Even a slight change in the cooling level can negatively affect the food. The real problem starts when the seal stops being tight. To fix it, start by doing a test. Take a bill, place it between the door, and close the fridge. Now try to pull it out. If you can easily remove the bill, it means the door seal has loosened, probably due to frequent opening and closing, which can lead to increased energy consumption and spoilage of food. Set the hairdryer to medium heat and blow air on the seal. After a few minutes, when the seal is warmed up, take a cloth and wipe it around. This will also help reinflate the seal. Now, try inserting the bill again and close the door. As you can see, it's not as easy to pull out anymore. This means the grip between the seal and the door has drastically improved, and your fridge is as good as new.